James Gunn's DCU has kicked off with Superman, which is crazy because I remember it like yesterday when the first trailer came out, and I was so excited. Even for the announcement of Phase 1 with the DCU Gods and Monsters, it felt like yesterday. I'm just going to note as well that I'm not the hugest DC fan. I like DC and all these heroes. I'm not saying I don't. I do love a lot of these characters. I'm just not as well versed with these as I am with Marvel. So some of these characters in the film was my first introduction to them. And I know that with some of the Easter eggs sprinkled out the film, because I know James Gunn said there's a lot of Easter eggs, if I'd seen them, some of them, I might not even know exactly what they mean, but I'll try to notice them more on my second screening on Friday, just to see what's there. I was going to put in a little general basic synopsis about what the film follows, but honestly, I don't feel like I need to. Is it because there's a lot going on and my brain is a little bit fried? Yeah, maybe. But it's also nice to leave it completely up in the air and not risk myself spoiling shit because we don't want that. I really did appreciate the story's focus on humanity. It's something I feel can be a little forgotten when you think about Superman projects in the past, and James Gunn did such a good job in making this the primary focus of the film. This is heavily focused on Superman. He does struggle with identity a bit in the film, but also knows how to deal with things which he feels is the best morally. He seeks to help humanity the best he knows how and with so much care. This humanity also applies to Lex Luthor. We know he's evil and hates Superman, but we see his motives. We see why he's doing what he's doing. He isn't just evil because he's Lex Luthor. We know he's supposed to be evil. Superman feels like one of the most comic book movies I've ever seen. You know, the original Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is up there. And this is a huge, big win for me. You could tell James Gunn did his research and understood the characters of the film because it felt like everything was taken straight off of a comic book page and now is on the big screen. I know that some people who love DC and love Superman will absolutely love this about the film. It will be surreal for some people. It's what people have been waiting for a long, long time. The film was very bright. It was vibrant. The suit, the bright blue, red, and yellow suit. There were some really, really nice shots out there. I think that was a very, very good, enjoyable part of the film for me. The film has a lot of action. This is arguably one of the strongest points about the film. The fights were really engaging, and every time Superman took flight, I just had such a sense of thrill that these combined were just pure entertainment. The supporting characters of the Justice Gang, like Mr. Terrific, Hawkgirl, Guy Gardner's Green Lantern, were also great in their action styles. I thought they all had something great to offer, and there were brilliant performances put in all around by these guys. David Corenswet is a brilliant Clark Kent and Superman. I remember seeing him for the first time when he was announced. I didn't really have a clue who he was, I can't lie, but I thought he absolutely looked the part. Now I've seen it, it's one of my favourite portrayals of Superman. Yes, I know I've only seen it once, and the comparisons between Supermans are really hard because they're all offering different things, but I just thought he captured the goofiness and the corniness that I know Superman has in the comics, yet was still incredibly charming and very enjoyable. The chemistry between him and the brilliant Rachel Brosnahan was so ridiculously strong. It was amazing to see. She was great as Lois as well, arguably some of the best casting I've seen for a little while, especially in a superhero film. The best performance for me, though, was Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. I thought he had so much energy in captivating the sheer obsession and hatred Lex has for Superman. It was honestly scene-stealing at times. And I just sat there in the screening thinking, yeah, this is one of the best villain performances in a superhero film I think I've ever seen. The first half an hour of this did have me a little worried. I didn't think the tone worked that well. Once the interview scene ended, that's not a spoiler, that's in the second trailer, I think the humour was so much better and everything began to flesh out really nicely, and James Gunn's style was working again for me, but I was worried for a hot sec. I also thought the pacing was a bit off, especially in the middle. It felt a little slow, but once you're thrust into the third act, I just forgot about all of that and had so much fun with the rest of it. I do think James Gunn managed really well the sheer amount that's going on and the amount of characters that are in there, because there's a lot. And I think there will be too much happening for some people, which is a valid criticism. The film is just under 2 hours. I think James Gunn did well in getting everything across and not having it feel too rushed and overwhelming. I also feel like they released too many individual scenes online. I remember seeing a few and just thinking, yeah, this is really cool. Shame I saw it on YouTube. I'm gonna bring back my Oscars segment to every review. Well, if I feel it needs to be in a review, I'm just gonna change the name. So this is Oscars talk. Look, this is a Superman movie. It's not gonna break many categories, even though I think it's a good film. It's not gonna break many categories. Visual effects is something to definitely keep an eye on. I think it'll probably get in here. This is a year which is pretty strong for competition. I mean, July has 3 films alone that could get into visual effects. Other than visual effects, I don't think it's going to get in anywhere else. I think the casting's perfect. I think the casting's really, really good. Do I see the Academy nominating Superman for casting? No. But I'd do it. I really did enjoy this one, and to be honest, I expected to enjoy this one. I saw this in IMAX, and I'm so happy I was able to do that. The experience was very immersive, and my next screening will also be in IMAX, which is huge stuff. But even without that, I think Superman is a great time and is so much fun. The issues I had, I will still see if I have the same ones or if any new ones arise on rewatch. If I do, I will probably let you guys know, but they're not enough to deduct too many points off my score. So I give Superman 4 stars, closer to a 3.5 than a 4.5. If you have seen Superman, please let me know what you thought. And if you enjoyed the review, please like and subscribe and follow on other socials. It would be so much appreciated. If you haven't seen Superman, are you excited? Are you a little bit worried? I'd love to know.